you talk to me like that? Get my effing stuff off your, you know, and threaten me with the police when you rang me, contacted me on an unknown number, claiming that someone else was a dangerous person. And you're not telling me how you got my number. This was Tina Chave. I reported to Trading Standards because she falsely offered me help with my housing and everything. And then I was bullied. My partner, who they don't know, verbal abuse towards him when I'm already a vulnerable woman. It's very cowardly. Now I'm testing the spirit. My faith is being tested, I can tell you that. But anyone who says anything bad about someone who claims to be a victim of, let's just say, the darkness, I don't want to talk about it, is then attacking me. So thank you very much for that. But you have not told me how you got my number. I know that one of the individuals claims to be vulnerable and has problems, and he openly admitted that he was a Freemason, and he changed his profile picture. No, I'm not going to answer it. An unknown number. A threat to call the police. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are, or the other mobile phone number. So I'm glad I haven't emailed you, because you're not answering questions and you're being threatening towards me. Oh, there we go. Well, you know, I deliberately turned on the chat because I want to expose the nutcases out there. This nutcase needs locking up, court rulings and the common law. Well, there you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. A prayer has been answered. If it's not a prayer, wherever it's coming from, because I tell you what, my lady, the only person that I can turn to is a member of the public who was attacked in the street for trying to help me. I'm sitting here in a dressing gown. I'm not answering. You can keep ringing. You can keep ringing.
This is abused by society in Bournemouth. The gaslighter.
You can't even answer a simple
right. I'm gonna do the stream.
Question. If I haven't got problems enough with my relationship with my partner who's brought me to the light.
I know about her, and there's this Helen James. They're absolutely threatening her. They're trying to trick her. Finally. Find a channel. Made by somebody in Bournemouth in England. Playing this for her protection. It is Wednesday, 27/7/2022.
Right, why have I just had a threat from an unknown number?
To help her.
I've got to call the police because this is what I've just received from an unknown number.
There's quite a few people about a couple of years ago on Facebook as well. I did, and other people tried to help her. I know what she's going through. I don't, I've talked to her before, but to make personal attacks by a woman called Helen, and there's other couple of women and their supporters of a channel, he meant well. There's nothing against him. Dan, who owns a channel, Peace Against Abusing Powers, and it's like everyone's jumped in to attack her tonight on her live. So she's gone extremely distressed. She's getting domestic abuse by her partner, allegedly, and he's setting her up. He's the handler, allegedly, and she's out the hotel because she's run out of cash. So she won't go back to that temporary accommodation because she's getting really badly treated there too. So there's a whole history. It is a direct trauma-based mind control harassment. I only know this too well. So therefore, when I tried to go in her comments before to try and help her, she eyeballed me. But because the way she is getting triggered, and tonight was clearly that, I popped in her chat to say about, unless there's actual physical harm, psychological abuse, evidence of another party, and common law is contract law. She's a smart woman, but she is just being triggered, and she's in her blinking house using a room of her partner's male friend, and that's a vulnerable position to be in for somebody's vulnerable already. But for this woman Helen to threaten her on her phone without her number showing, and I was trying to put in the chat, change your channel, start a new channel, change your phone number and start again. But obviously she has a Facebook presence, and she's by the coast, and I hope she does that. But poor demonic people can pose as anyone these days with anything. Go into this woman's chat, and I'm just going to let them hack into my internet. I know it's raining. I've got to go back out in about an hour just to put some cash into the bank, so I won't have to bother for a few days. No, I thought so. So I'm going to have to collapse this down. Collapse that down to start that one up. Very funny. Now I'm missing that on my computer. Well, anyway. What the hell? I need to check that myself. Right. So this is her channel. I've gone in to delete the abusive comments for her. This is her channel. She's transparent. They don't like it when you're talking the truth. And you also got to be careful you don't libel anyone. And the way things are in England, you can see the history and what she's been trying to do. And there's a pattern. She gets threatened. She doesn't know it's gaslighting. And she's getting threats, right? For only if I knew what her Facebook page was, I could get somebody to actually post on it some information to help her, to help herself. And when you think you're going to get some help, let me just, they set you up. I mean, the target, the presumption is being made your private life. Now, this lady, you know, she's putting certain information. These people in her chat were narcissists. This is opposite the comments. She's getting there. She knows half of the information. She knows quite a few, but see if she's got any other channels she's linked to. And this is when I tried to help her when she's in that temporary accommodation. And she's left those couple of videos up there. Right? And she does all these subtle little things. Right? I know only too well because I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. So I used to, before the other channels got took down, I was like her. So I know only too well what it's like. So obviously I'm older. And yeah.
Right. I'm live.
So these are just old videos she's got on the channel. And this is the one. Just go and watch the one 5 days ago. So you don't really know what's really going on behind the scenes. And then because she had a threat by this, so let me just play it as I'm writing. They're ridiculous people.
This is a message for Helen James. Don't worry, don't panic. I'm going to be very careful with my words. I'm not going to put you or myself in danger. But I don't do anything in secret. I don't. Connection is unstable, so I don't know. Is it okay now? Connection is unstable, so it might go on and off. I am still in a very vulnerable position. so vulnerable that my lady witness, the witness to the member of the public, my lady witness friend, who is a witness to my council accommodation terrorism, because this has all gone to the CEO of Eastbourne Borough Council. And yes, I'm going to pack myself, be very careful that I don't say anything that will put you in danger or me in danger. But when I was making that, okay, now it's just talking about, so it might, you know who, shall we say. It wasn't factual, it's just my opinion, what I think, using my feelings aloud on YouTube. And you sent me a text. So of course, we haven't actually had any interaction. We've only had interaction apparently in the comments section, and I vaguely remember it was after I was falsely offered help by Tina Chave and the police abusing powers community.
Right. This is where she goes wrong. You don't repeat people information when they offer you personal help with her situation. I know who she's talking about, but you don't drag them in. What she's going is they're tricking her to repeat the pattern of trauma, and she doesn't realise she's the targeted individual. She has lied with me before, but I know full well this is what the MK Ultra demonic, blinking demonic entities out there do. Yeah, so anything, I mean, she just had bombardment with so many idiots into her chat, so I just streaming this so people can see. Now that guy runs a channel, he means well, but she's getting triggered by the so-called partner. Allegedly, he's causing domestic abuse to her, and psychologically, but she doesn't realise how he's doing it. So anyone out there's been through domestic abuse, psychologically as well, you know too well, male or female. So anyway, I'm just playing this for her protection. Let's go back.
For Helen James. Don't worry, don't panic. I'm going to be very careful with my words. I'm not going to put you or myself in danger. But I don't do anything in secret. I don't. Connection is unstable, so I don't know. Is it okay now? Connection is unstable, so it might go on and off. I am still in a very vulnerable position. So vulnerable that my lady witness, the witness to the member of the public, my lady witness friend, who is a witness to my council accommodation terrorism, because this has all gone to the CEO of Eastbourne Borough Council. And yes, I'm going to pack myself, be very careful that I don't say anything that will put you in danger or me in danger. But when I was making that, it just talking about you know who, shall we say. It wasn't factual, it was just my opinion, what I think, using my thoughts aloud on YouTube. And you sent me a text. So, of course, we haven't actually had any interaction. We've only had interaction apparently in the comments section, and I vaguely remember it was after I was falsely offered help by Tina Cave and the police abusing power community. It was after I was
Did you take the stream off?
Is it okay now? The connection is unstable, so it might. So vulnerable that my lady witness, who the member of the public, my lady witness friend, who is a witness to my council accommodation terrorism, because this has all gone to the CEO of Eastbourne Borough Council. And yes, I'm going to pack myself, be very careful that I don't say anything that will put you in danger or me in danger. But when I was making that, it just talking about you know who, shall we say. It wasn't factual, it was just my opinion, what I think, using my thoughts aloud on YouTube. And you sent me a text. So, of course, we haven't actually had any
It's the same one. Let's have a look.
Interaction. We've only had interaction apparently in the comments section, and I vaguely remember it was after I was falsely offered help by Tina Cave and the police abusing powers community.
Okay.
You know who. It wasn't factual, it was just my opinion, what I think, my thoughts aloud on YouTube. And you
They've
sent
cut
me
a video down.
So, of course, we haven't actually had any interaction. We've only had interaction apparently in the comments section, and I vaguely remember it was after I was falsely offered help by Tina Cave and the police abusing powers community.
They cut a video off, but I saw what was said.
This is a message for Helen James. Don't worry, don't panic. I'm going to be very.
That this particular woman, I don't even know her. withheld her number and was live witness calling her, harassing her, threatening to go around her accommodation, which she doesn't even know where she lives, and then making personal comments about her psychological health. She doesn't even know her.
Careful with my words. I'm not going to put you or myself
You could sit,
in danger.
I don't know if they're going to edit.
But
she hasn't caused
I
anyone
don't do
any
anything
problem.
in secret. I don't. Connection is unstable, so I don't know.
Yeah, they messed about with
okay,
her.
Now the connection is unstable, so it might go on and off.
I witnessed what they did to her.
I am still in a very vulnerable position.
They've cut her video off where she has the phone call. I witnessed what they were doing to her.
So vulnerable that my lady witnessed, the witness to the member of the public, my lady witness friend, who is a witness to.
You don't see the phone in her hand in this short video. I did.
My council accommodation terrorism, because this has all gone to the CEO.
You've got to be careful what words you use.
I shall be very careful that danger or me just talking about you know who, shall we say. Actual, it was just my opinion, what I'm using my thoughts aloud. And so of course the interaction, we've only interacted section, and I vague.
Yeah, they've got a video down.
Been helped by
She's not done it. They have done it. Right, this is what they do. Oh, police abusing powers. She says, unfortunately. It's deeper than that. There's a lot of things going on. I'll just watch it on this one.
This is a message for Helen James. Don't worry, don't panic. I'm going to be very careful. My word, in danger. But I don't do anything in secret. Connection is unstable, so I don't know. Okay, now connection is unstable, so it might go on and off. I am still in a very vulnerable position. So vulnerable that my lady witness to the member of the public, my lady witness friend, who is a witness to my council accommodation terrorism, because this has all gone to the CEO of Eastbourne Borough Council. And yes, I'm going to pack myself, be very careful that I don't say anything that will put you in danger or me in danger. When I was making just talking about you know who, shall we say. It wasn't factual, it was just my opinion, what I think. Muting my thoughts aloud on YouTube. And you sent me a text. So, of course, we haven't actually had any interaction. We've only had interaction apparently in the comments section, and I vaguely remember it was after I was falsely offered help by Tina Chave and the Police Abusing Powers community.
Yeah, look that video up. I'm sending the blessings and prayers to them.
$124,000 of profit in 1 month. Let's talk about this. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel and our Naga.
Our desires, we find that all of our desires are met in Him. Whatever your idol is, give it to God. Whatever you strive for, give it to God. Whatever you think you need to make your life worthwhile, give it to God. He has more in store for you than you know. His plans are bigger than yours. We will also find that He takes us further in life than our dreams ever could. His plan for our lives is bigger than our own plan. So when we take down the idols and put God on the throne, big things happen. Our hearts change, our character changes, our lives change. And then, as a response to that change, everything else begins to fall into place. Then we live truly free, surrendered, and joyful lives.
Do you have peace in your life? Where do you get it? What gets you through your days? When great things happen, we all have that initial thought.
The people who do the work for them aren't doing it really voluntarily.
I think not all, and I would say actually at this point it's 50-50. And I think there are definitely a large quantity of beings, and
Men going to America. Max Plains.
they don't need to put themselves in positions where they're seen, or they don't need to be.
Submit your 300 to the power.
They rule with an absolute rule behind the scenes. So the Committee of 300 generally the outer heads. So they're the ones we do see on TV and in.
Those are Erwin, or people would call the second degree.
Right. Second degree in respect to what?
In respect to expendable operatives.
Well, I mean, yes, I suppose they are expendable. Yeah, absolutely. They're still what the general public would perceive as the top of the line, though. They're the top, like the top players we perceive.
Yeah, that's because we see them.
Right, and the absolute rulers are unseen. And that's always the way it's been in anything. You have the outer inner head, like I said. So, so I've just been in researching more so rather than the 13 families that are always talked about, the Committee of 300 families. And they a lot of the,
Excuse me.
in Scotland, you have the clans, like Clan Lindsay and Clan McGregor, or McGregor clan, and a lot of which are the Templars really. A lot of those families are the Committee of 300 families, and so like I think the McGregor clan is an offshoot of a Rothschild family, but they're seen as slightly less significant or slightly less powerful. And really, in truth, it's a DNA how controllable the more controllable you are, the higher position you're going to have. So if you have a certain stream that they feel is malleable or controllable, they'll put you in a position that's high. The more that you are seen to be sociopathic and a sellout to humanity for gain or fame or money, then they will place you in a higher and higher position. That's not to say that everybody who's in those positions is a complete sellout. I don't think that they are, but I think generally the rule is that you are. If you're willing to sell out your brother, or you're willing to sell out your fellow man, they will put you. If you're showing that you'll do that, they'll put you in a higher spot. See what I'm saying?
So in many respects, you're talking about how easy your soul, you can sell your soul.
Right, and then you'd have to define what soul really meant. I've always had kind of an issue with
what
that.
What bargain you make.
What's your soul? Yeah. I mean, what are you?
How much does it take to buy you? Are you cheap or expensive?
Right, and then I think I had this conversation with Michael Hemmingson actually a while ago, and how your television, mainstream media is pushing more and more for people to empathize with the sociopath in television and movies, and they'll create a movie or a TV show where Dexter is like a prime example where you'll have, and he's a serial killer, but somehow the writing will be done where you'll empathize and you think, it's not so bad, it's fine. I like this guy, and so you'll end up having a connection with him, although he is torturing and killing people. So that's kind of altering the mainstream collective mind in a more leaning it towards a more cutthroat, sell-out sort of mode. And I think
these are the details.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Of that particular. Who was that individual you described?
I was actually referring to a television show, TV show. Yeah. So I kind of got. So I'm just kind of heading that.
We're dealing with the committee of. We're dealing with 300.
Okay.
Who's expendable? Who you can buy?
Yeah. And not everybody can be bought with cash. There's power or position or perhaps to save somebody else. What would you do to save somebody you love? That's why often people people in positions of power will have anybody who has a position of power, they will have on you some form of blackmail, some kind of thing that if you don't continue to do as you're told, then you will be exposed as this or that or the other. So they'll make sure that whoever is put into positions of power has some sort of fetish for something or another that is deemed obscene to the general public. So they'll have that buried somewhere, so if you mess up, it can be shown, and that can be always held on you. So you are forced then to continue. There was a scientist not that long ago who was working on vaccines, and he was an incredible genius. But they had him, and he was working for one of the alphabet agencies, and they had him on. They'd abducted him one day, and they had made his body so that it was had to have this green liquid constantly going through his veins, and if the green liquid was taken away, I don't know what the chemical was, if the green liquid was taken away, then he would, over a 24-hour period, he would die, and a horrible death. So he had this liquid connected to him all the time, and if he didn't continue the work, then he would that would happen, and that's just another form of blackmail or form of where you're forced to
But
do
they
that.
can't blackmail you. They'll get you dependent on something.
Yes, dependency, right, absolutely. And whether it's drugs or whether it's another chemical, or whether it's the threat of harm to somebody you love.
It
Yes.
implies that essentially, in order for these people to function, these creatures or whatever we're dealing with, the people who do the work for them aren't doing it really voluntarily.
I think not all, and I would say actually at this point it's 50-50. And I think there are definitely a large quantity of beings, in the guise of human beings, but people who are doing this work because they like it, because they like the feeling of subjugating and being cruel to another being, because that's how they get off. But then there is another part, majority of people who are forced into doing it, and they have to do it because if they don't, there's going to be harm done. So usually it's not themselves, it's somebody they love, because if you attack somebody they love, it's actually more painful. Somebody who has a heart.
But that means that they risk vengeance from those people.
Absolutely.
They have to therefore keep them in hand. It's dangerous for them to do that. It's not profitable in the long run.
In terms of the people that they're
If they kill somebody that somebody loves, that person will harbour hatred towards them.
Right.
And do they use the hate?
Well, I think that in terms of that, they're sort of harvesting that energy, and if like the hate, fear, cruelty, energy is very useful to them. So I don't think that they particularly care. The more you get angry or feel violent or want to attack in the same way that they are, you're always going to lose. Because if you work on, this is their playing, and I don't mean to use that.
I experienced that to a great deal at Sky Television.
Okay.
When they were generating specifically a massive hate. They wanted people to hate them. They used to go around the company and the people were discussing how they wanted to go and machine gun people in the office.
So if the Sky building itself, if that was built on an energy grid point, and you could piss off everybody in that place, and everyone was angry and was lashing at everybody else, you could harm. I mean, that's the best energy source.
Yes, we're definitely doing that.
And reverse it back into it, and then use it again. So you're push it back down, so you've got a cycle going like that. And everybody wants to have some form of income, and if it's a half decent income, and no one's going to leave, probably not. But they're essentially raping you energetically and paying you nothing for it.
Yeah, that was very evident. So, who are these creatures?
Okay,
the bottom line is, let's discuss the problem that we're all extraterrestrials.
Well, yeah.
Who brought us here?
Yeah.
And who are the people who've taken control? The creatures that have taken.
Well, okay. So I think this is how I feel from extensively researching it, and I don't, and perhaps others don't agree with me on it. It is one faction of the reptilian species that is doing this. The ones that are in control here and now, I believe, is the Anunnaki, which I think they were the Anunnaki reptilian species were on Sirius B originally, and are not in full control though. And I think you've got the Orion group, handed over control for a window of time to the Anunnaki, and I think it's false information that the Anunnaki are at the top of the pyramid, quote unquote, and that this.
Staying in it, I don't know, I haven't met. I'm in their home. I have some sort of got permission now. So anyway, I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but I tell you what, next time, as someone who's been targeted themselves, and I'm not a victim of satanic ritual abuse, as far as I'm aware anyway, with everything that my late mother did in her life,
Right, she's back live again.
Right, Shalom Yahweh to those who like. Yeah, I've just reported. What do you know? So yeah, this is again, you have to test the spirit. There are a lot of people who will falsely offer you help, like Tina Jave, who I reported to trading standards, and then this woman I don't know. I think there are a lot of people who've got nothing better to do, and they're just cowards. They might be damaged people. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what their background is. I tell you what though, first impressions count for everything. My number, connection is unstable. So
She's getting her hat now.
so anyway, as it is, I'm staying in a, I don't know, I haven't met, I'm in their home. I have some sort of got permission now. So anyway, I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but I tell you what, next time, as someone who's been targeted themselves, and I'm not a victim of satanic ritual abuse, as far as I'm aware anyway, with everything that my late mother did in her life, and on what she stood up for, and the cowards, particularly in this country, you know, the thing of all Brits moan and nobody stands up. I'm well rehearsed in this, and it's not normal to contact someone in the early hours when they're panic ritual abuse. And I said to the police call handler, I said, I'm not bad-mouthing anyone, I'm documenting what has happened to me. I am in my partner's friend's home because I'm not safe to go back to an accommodation where I have been attacked to the point one time where I thought I would be killed. The locks have been changed again, as they were this time last year, because they put a lot of dangerous people in these places, and they're protected by the police. My lady witness was attacked in the street by random drunks trying to help me, and I want to protect her. I was arrested many times. I've had police brutality. I've had it all over 6 years, and I can't even call the police if my life is in danger, because I've said this many times, I've documented it previously, but for me to randomly make a video about a woman I don't know, who I've never met, but I've seen her being interviewed by John Wedger, and by just musing my thoughts, I suddenly get this unknown mobile number, text me many text messages, and they won't tell me how they got my number, and they're claiming that banned from police abusing powers, this, that, and the other, how awful it was that you got bullied, she also said Lost Souls Paranormal is not a nice person or something or other. I don't know these people. I don't know them. But I've noticed that a lot of damaged people, the kind of people I am staying away from, will be, for my safety, will be the kind of people, in my opinion, observing the YouTube videos, the sorts of people who seem to attack the genuine victims. Now, I don't know who is a genuine victim and who isn't. Of course I don't. I'm just saying, I personally believe Jeanette Archer in the same way. Maybe there's more to believe about the other lady, the Australian lady, because she's sort of this Fiona Barnett. She's and can correlate, but both their stories correlate. I've got freedom of speech. I have got freedom of speech. I'll say it again. I have got freedom of speech. I have said nothing wrong. I've watched YouTube videos and I've put my opinion out there, and I'm not going to be threatened. In that video, an unknown number rang me and a woman's voice.
Exactly.
And I won't say the woman's name, even though I think we know it's obvious who it is, because I think I've just received an email saying that my YouTube video has been, it just shows these people have got nothing better
Taken
to do.
down.
So Wayne Fox isn't a man of God, is he? You think that because he's a builder, that makes him... I don't know this man. I don't.
Don't know if she's been hacked again.
Who are you? Because I've reported you to the police. There you go, it's rung again, an unknown number. I've put my opinion out there.
Well, she's getting harassed again.
The police abusing powers community. YouTube, the police abusing powers community. YouTube channel. So
Okay, she's just had this
yeah,
stream taken
it's
down,
very cowardly.
and she's just been asked
But the
again.
woman that I've subscribed to, that has been, this individual has said it's not a good. Who are you? Because I've reported you to the police.
A male.
There you go, it's rung again, an unknown number.
They're harassing her on the line, on the internet as well. Recording her and harassing her on a YouTube channel, where you can see that her YouTube channel is streamed. It is I bet they're just trying to take her channel down. I'll just go out of what I was listening to. Let's have a look. Yeah, they've taken her down. I'll just keep playing what I was playing in the background of Matt Spires. When she goes live again, I'll get a notification. They're really good. It is a full moon coming up. Matt Spires is a demonic people. She stumbled across, I do believe she stumbled across the ritual abuse, satanic ritual abuse of some contact or something by accident. And they don't want her to know, so I think that's why they're harassing her. I don't mention things and connections I know about. I never do that. I let other people do that. That's got backbone in the sense of protection behind them. If you go too deep into this ritual child abuse and all the other dark stuff behind it all, this is a bigger picture. So she's just stumbled across something. So now everyone's on her back rope. She'll be safe, regardless of what she said about me. I don't want anyone to get any harm. Let alone me and anyone else like me. Right. Matt Spires carrying on.
Orion group are way above them.
We're a very dense planet, and the matter that's here is very dense.
Yeah, the frequency we're on is very dense. Yeah, the planet itself isn't. It's just we're attached to the frequency that's very dense here. There are high vibrations versions of this planet. We're just not tuned to them right now.
Right. That's important.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we are not native to this place.
No. I think that we have multiple strains of DNA running through. There's nobody that's walking here that is native to this place. Certainly very, very, very few.
The Sasquatch native to here?
I think more. How about more native? I don't think that they. If there's.
They've just been here longer.
Yeah. Yes, definitely amazing.
So who brought us
the
here?
American Indian sort of like stream of energy sort of thing. Right?
Yeah. Who brought us here? And are they coming back? Or did they leave?
Right. I think that there was a human experiment, and I think we're involved in the human experiment. And the human experiment has been hijacked by a number of different streams of consciousness, species, whatever you want to call them. And I think that we have not been allowed to evolve naturally as an awakening consciousness here, and we've been usurped by another species that has taken over and manipulated and used us as slaves. But I think the human line as we know it now, the human form as we know it now, was created to be a sort of a working slave species and on another prison planet. And this definitely, for sure, is a prison planet now.
Well, that's quite true, actually, in where we are now with technology. So you've got Nicholas, I forgot the website now, talking about technology with the years ago, and that was for the year 2045. So you're talking about the technology, transhumanist, upload the brain interface, and much more where they're hacking into the brain with the subject target individuals is related. That's just a term. But the patterns of documents have been around since, well, the ones I've got anyway. 1950s, before I was born. So the big pharmaceutical industry came about. You educateyourself.org, and you'll find that the Rockefeller families, 13 bloodline families. The pyramid I still got this out just to remind me, because it's very well organised. Right at the top of the pyramid, you have these Luciferian Nephians, anarchy. Just below it, you got the Illuminati. It really is quite complex, quite well organised. But in history, you have to really dig back in history to work back forward. To where we are. So this poster I found dated 2006, and it's a long time ago that I found this, and this is a breakdown. Somebody did a diagram, and I don't know whether this was on a poster, lamp post, or what. Skull of Bones, Alice Crowley. It's not just ordinary members of Freemasonry, it gets deeper than that. Satanic ritual abuse, you've got the symbolism, you've got the all-seeing eye, and much more. So I'll just keep it like that, and I'll just keep the maxes 20 to 11.
No, there's nobody here that is experiencing the real version of who they are.
We talked in Canterbury.
Yeah.
And you had a key.
Yeah.
You mentioned about, I've got the key, I can get out of here.
Well,
what do you mean by all that?
Okay, so that's, I think For me personally, I've been stuck in cycles here, cycle after cycle, and I think it's something to do with my particular family line, and something to do with some soul deals that went on, and but I don't have clear memory of them because each time you come back into the body, you get lured to walk into the light, and I think that's a false light. I think it's a quote unquote Luciferian false light, and then you get right in memory. I'm not exactly sure what the soul deal is. I'm just speaking from an instinct here that I made some sort of soul deal, and I've been coming back in cycles, and addressing that and looking at that and doing work in terms of regression, not looking at past lives because a lot of the past life stuff is ego stuff, but looking at it and understanding it and trying to break the deal so that future generations, my children and children's children, don't have to go, because it's the same, really. We're sort of the same, sort of like a centipede. Like all my family lying down and all the ones to come, sort of the same sort of connected consciousness. Whatever happened to my grandfather or his father, I carry those memories in my DNA. I don't want to have to keep doing the same cycles again. So I'm addressing that, and by doing that, it's sort of like a symbolic key. So the key that you were talking about is, for me, and it's kind of covering this kind of heart center, for me, is a key, it's a form of a key so that I can break the cycle sort of thing.
So what does this, is it like a Mobius loop, like an infinity
Yeah. Yes.
run as we go through the procession of the equinoxes?
Yes, or the sun coming up and going down, or the 28-day moon cycle, same thing. It's all, they're only there. I mean, the sun coming up and going down is only there to reinforce that you are in a dualistic. Why does it have to be light and then dark? It doesn't really. Isn't that just forcing me into the belief of duality and polarity? Why do I have to look at a watch? I ought to be looking at the time, looking at my watch. It's this thing that reminds you to do that. It's reinforcing that that's real. And it's around the circle. The hand's going around the circle, so it's reinforcing again that I'm locked into a time loop. Even the pentagram, really, outside of it being earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, outside of that, it's the five senses locked in prison. Imprisonment of the five senses. Obsession with five sense flesh experience. And I think that you can get addicted to sensation, any polarities. You can get addicted to lifetimes. And I think that somewhere along some of these cycles, I got addicted to pain and pleasure, some way or another. And then once you do that, you keep going back in cycles like that.
This is a creation of 3D reality.
Yeah.
You need to stress that time space continue with pain and pleasure. You mentioned that, otherwise it would collapse.
Yes. So they have to keep reinforcing that in everything. I mean, it's really hard because there's so much MK, there's so much mind control everywhere you look. I mean, if you turn the radio on, you're going to be bombarded by frequencies. Like everything kind of screams, stay, or everything, stay here, Ultra. So like that. I think there's an analogy I heard sometime when if you have a goldfish ball, and to keep a plastic ball at the bottom of the thing, you have to hold it down like that because it's natural, and you have a plastic ball. Its natural state, the plastic ball would be to float on top of the water. If the hand is holding it down, it has to constantly hold it down at the bottom of the bowl. It has to be constantly holding it down. And if the hand is taken away at any time, the ball will immediately rise to the top and be in its natural state. So that, I think, is an analogy of where the human consciousness is at. It has to be constant at this point because we're awakening really quickly. There's a raising of consciousness all the time, every day. Like I notice every day. So they have to make sure that they have to be the symbolic hand that holds the ball down in everywhere you go. I can't even turn the radio on without being bombarded with some frequency or some word combination that triggers me to stay here, or a certain color, or a billboard, or a number plate, or somebody sitting next to me on the train who puts a bag there. as a brand name, which is MK. Why do I keep saying this? Why does it keep showing up all the time?
These are MK Ultra triggers.
Yes.
Much like the film They Live.
I think that was John Carpenter is if you look through John Carpenter's movies, they paint it perfect. He knows a lot more, like a lot of us do, knows a lot more than they're saying, and you can find a tapestry of truth throughout all his movies. So the They Live is perfect example, yeah. Even down to the end of They Live, when there's a frequency thing which is holding kind of the face so that no one sees. You know, when he puts the sunglasses on, he's able to see, well, there's a frequency thing. I think that there is a frequency band that is running across everything here, which is somewhere, and I think it might be to do with HARP, or it might be to do with something else, but that is running through, which is able to maintain the veil.
Reality management.
Yeah, they got it down. I mean, it's just like a perfect science. And the majority of people do not want to leave. They're way too frightened to leave.
Where would they go?
Well, they'll have to do the same thing on a really, really similar time strain planet somewhere else. Because this planet isn't going to be like this. So they'll just disincarnate. Because it's going to, the frequency is raising too quickly. So if you're sticking with the old way of thinking, which is the dense, heavy kind of, I need to control other people, which is kind of that old way, kind of draconian way of thinking, you'll just cease to be here anymore.
Is that called ascension?
Well, I'm not a big proponent of that, like, sort of symbolically, but I think when you start talking about ascension and all that, you start kind of getting tied up into the religious connection of, am I ascending? Well, that means you're creating polarity again. You're going up or you're going down. I'm just changing the line of frequency that I'm on.
So who are these other races?
Okay.
You've got the Anunnaki, you've got the Nephilim, you've got the Ator, you've got the Valon, that some people can call them.
Yeah.
Who are these things? Are they the butlers running the manor? And who's the Lord and Lady
right.
should be running the manor?
Well, that's definitely perspective, isn't it? I mean, who do you, it's the democratic, who do you want, who do you feel?
It's the people who, in the Committee 300, they're the second degrees, they're essentially the servants.
Yes.
But somebody is running puppet mastering.
Right, and it's all, everything here is done in pyramid structure control theme. It has to be done, that way, hierarchically done in a pyramid structure. So essentially, it really would come down to round table concepts. At the top, there's round tables that run Europe, there's round tables that run Australia and America, and then, it would come down to, I think it comes down to 3 people at the very top. There's 3 people who come together and exchange ideas, and you have these groups, CFR, and when there's tiers going back. But right at the top, there's 3, 5, 7, 11.
They
13.
aren't people. They aren't human.
Oh, no.
I mean, these are reptilians that they spit there. I mean,
the full blood reptilians. The full blood reptilians are not above ground. They don't. I mean, they can be, but they generally are not. They're not shapeshifters in the same way that that we're usually thinking. They aren't human at all. So if they do deal with like surface dwelling stuff, then they're using holographic technology to blend themselves in. That you can put.
Do they get us to see them?
Yeah. So they
get us to do it. Right. They don't actually change.
They don't change. They're not changing at all. They're giving some frequency out, which is messing with our vision, which makes us see them the way that they want.
For instance, something we've discovered with the scuttlers and other types of creatures or things like that, you have about a 2.5 second delay before they stop. It tells you can't see it anymore.
Right.
Is that because it's like some kind of massive antenna system on the moon or something? Is that what gives you?
So you're talking about those the small
big spiders.
Okay. And so the 2.5 second delay with what?
When you see it, you get 2.5 seconds max of perception.
Okay, so they're like a spot, like around this big.
Yeah.
and they have legs about this long, maybe 6 legs, not necessarily 8 legs like the spider, but I've seen those before. I've seen them a number of times, and I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. And that's interesting, he said 2.5 seconds, because I usually only see them for a few seconds,
Yes.
and they fade away. And it's usually in a half day's stay. It's like the in-between asleep and awake is when I've seen them, and they're on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Seen them on the ceiling, going across the ceiling. Really unpleasant, actually, really unpleasant feeling to see them.
Okay, Max.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hassle about James Campbell. Michael Prince.
I know James Caswell because I know him from when I was a child, and I was in a similar. I knew him physically when I was a kid, when we were little, from Brighton, and we were in a similar program then. I know him a little bit.
Now, this is important. Are you actually saying that James Caswell is actually real in terms of being in some kind of super soldier type program?
I know that he was involved in rituals, and he was involved in some nasty stuff that goes on with kids. That's what I know for sure. The rest of it, I'm not going to comment on any of his other stuff that he's talked about. I know that there's a lot of things that James says that are absolutely for real, but I know for a fact that he likes to disinform and likes that, and likes to do that.
I mean, some people would call that a sociopathic liar.
Some people would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
So what do you think his game is? Apart from pissing everybody off.
I think he wants to get well, and I think he wants to do all right, and I think some part of him wants to heal from the nastiness that went on, because I know that stuff isn't good. I think I've talked about it before with you. A lot of the Luciferian satanic ritual stuff, and a lot of the programming, the mind imprinting that goes on from 0 to 3, and then 3 to 7. You can create an adult when you program a child from 0 to 3 years old, and that's what was done, and that's what was done with a lot of people, a lot of us that were involved in those things.
How many of you is us?
Well, I think that there are. Well, this is what I know, actually. I think that 98% of children that were involved in these programs are dead now.
Okay.
And the ones that I'm talking about, the majority were majority were males. And the soul chose to leave the body, and 99% of them. Some are still able to speak out about it. I'm speaking out about it because I wanted, since 2008, when I had a stream of memories come back. A lot of memories come back. I have been trying to find out exactly what's going on, because I need to know what happened, what actually happened. So when I say us, I think there were kids that were used from each continent, and they tested out. It's sort of like almost like a. There was a movie that came. I'm blanking out. They're testing one against. It's almost like they're making a competition. They're testing one against. They're playing one. It's like a video game. They're playing one against the other one.
So you mean you're being played against Caswell? Caswell being played against you, and Alien, or but Haley's in this as well as a monarch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are other monarchs came to the meetup that was held in the Barge Inn.
All right.
On April 27th.
Okay.
And we've had other super soldiers come forward in England with multiple implants.
Oh yeah.
And they seem to be engaged in something a little bit like meeting cat people ETs.
There's a feline race, which is a lion, sort of a lion race, and I think that they that's used in a lot of the Monarch programming, because that's I don't actually know why they use cats. what the deal with that is, but they use that as a training. So like the kids get turned into kitty cats, or like the whole Hello Kitty is based on that.
Yeah, Tom Cat.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry the mouse.
Totally, and that's just reinforced programming. Totally reinforced programming. Yeah. So
you also mentioned you met these shadow entities, the same kind of creatures that Sasha Christie and others have met, black shadow entities here in the crop circle area where we are in Wiltshire. There are crop circle makers who've claimed to, while they're making the crop circles, actually encounter big 6 foot or 7 foot black entities, shadow things.
Yeah, and I think that there was deals made. These are.
They've been recently photographed.
Yeah,
and they seem very similar to Junior, as the black entity called Junior by Preston Nichols at Montauk.
Yeah.
And where I interviewed you before, you did have the Montauk book.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of connections.
Talk about that very briefly.
Yeah. There's the Montauk boys. They generally used males in the Montauk project. They all used males in the Montauk project because of the hardwired energy of a male is like explosive energy, outward energy. And so in terms of using the trip seat, they wanted to have males in there because that is a way to project imagery into the ether to manifest it that way, whereas females the energy is more inside, internal. So they used males for that, and they used specific males that through Kundalini or sexual energy, you could manifest realities that way. I think that the trip seat is a back engineered part of a ship, some form of ship. And they're using that to manifest
that's very
reality.
interesting. I mean, the trip seat is a term used by Barry King 20 years ago.
Okay.
So that seems to be verifying what he was saying.
I haven't seen that, but yes, definitely.
He used the trip seat in Peasmore, not too far away from here.
And that comes up a lot, Miles, doesn't it? Because I think that when we were in Vegas last year, whatever abduction or whatever shit happened with there, what I feel went on was that there was a mass abduction, but it was to make sure, sort of like they gathered everybody together, and then there was some, and this is nobody's fault. I think that from what I understand, we were kind of drawn in to do that. I think there is a soul contract that we would come to a spot at one time, but then there's manipulation that went on, and now you either realize that there is a puppety, there is something going on. We are being moved around by an unseen force, marionetting.
I mean, the bottom line here is you're English.
Yeah.
Casbold's English.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing in America? What's the link?
Right.
Why is the programming happening here in this country, in Britain?
Yeah, there's a special type of programming in the UK, I think, because and it doesn't go even talked about very much. I just know, even coming back here, because I haven't really spent much time back here. I've been more over in America for the
the Nazis were here, advisors during World War II.
They were
being used.
Yeah.
They were so-called prisoners of war, but they seem to be used in some time-space experiments at Ludlow Manor.
Okay. I just know now, looking back on it, the mind control that went on with as a child. I can see all of the things I used to watch. It's funny. Okay, so you interviewed somebody. I've forgotten his name. Miles. It's a really interesting interview. Bases 8.
David Monroe.
Yeah.
I spoke to another super soldier today. Has Hulk-out technology in him, and he synthesizes. He's done this sort of hulking out as Dave Marrow has done it. Dave again is connected with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Down in Truro.
Yeah. David definitely is. And I remember him mentioning, well, I don't know, there was a TV program when I was a kid called Emu.
Yes,
Oh, I
emu.
remember that.
With Rod Hull.
Yes, and a teddy bear type woman. There was a witch.
She was a witch. She was a witch.
Yes, in the Children's program.
Grot Bags. She was a witch called. Her name was Grot Bags.
Yes.
Grot Bags on the TV for a while. It's just very, 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 very specific programming in that, and I obsessively watched it, and it's not even very
So those are children's programs being used from mass mind control through general mass media.
Yeah, Thames Television was heavily involved in that and deeply connected to it. I know you talked about the BBC and Sky as well. Well, Thames, even the old school Thames logo, where you see the, I'd have to show it to you. Maybe you know it opens up Thames like that, and it shows the as above, so below symbol like this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, as in the film Mirage Makers, the Mirage Men, they're using that in the promo of the film.
Right.
Which is their Pennington and Lundberg and I forget.
It's reinforcing a lot of the occult stuff that was programmed into all of us who were involved in that. It was deep occult programming, and so it's just the Star of David, which is supposed to be a Jewish symbol, is really just male and female joined together, or as above, so below. They always like to reinforce that.
Are we referring to the inner earth here, or what? The inner.
I think the
lower realm with the black sun underneath us on the earth.
Yeah, and also what I'm saying is whatever is going on here on the microcosm version is also going on a bigger scale. Just a different version. So if you're interviewing me here, then another version of that, another version of me, and another version of you is having some form of interaction on a different frequency in a similar way.
Like a harmonic relationship.
Totally, and if it's happening here, it's happening
upper and lower octaves.
Yes, it has to, because that's the nature of this reality. So it has to, and they like to reinforce that a lot. I'm not exactly sure why, but they're always doing that. I mean, even that symbol like this is. You'll see that
the symbol of that we're using here for.
There's something I think particularly special about the Earth too. It seems to be a gem. It seems to be really important, and if you can have control of here, then you can have control of many, many other spots too. And the entrance point to this frequency is the sun, of the sun that we see that rises in the morning. It's Helios is the name of the sun, and it's a energy vortex point to enter this frequency or enter the solar system. You come in and out of the sun.
Saturn was our original sun.
Yeah, it was the original sun. Yes, and so you have that going on. You have all the planets are having relationships with each other too. The sun has a relationship with Saturn, so that's the above part. So down here, my relationship, I could represent one thing in rituals, in ceremony, in any of that stuff. They're always replaying or being. That's what If I was sitting here dressed up as the sun and you were there dressed up as Saturn with that around you, there'd be a relationship going on like that. I'm trying to be clear here. Certainly Saturn now has become the controlling force.
I mean, it's key. That's why we had Saturn V in the Apollo program. Originally, Saturn was going to be in the 2001 Space Odyssey, but they couldn't get the rings to work properly in a special effect.
Totally, and I think I've talked about this with you before as well. I think this system on this planet is not circular, it's cubic, and we're all kind of, it's Rubik's Cube sort of thing, and the cube is represented as
Tesseract.
Yeah.
Hypercube.
Yeah. So multidimensional cube, and Saturn, the ring now is representative of the controlling force, and I think that the moon not being a natural object somehow is controlling the subconscious, so the human subconscious has been hacked, and then now we're manifesting a reality that is not ours. That is the reality.
So we are being used to
manifest a reality that they want. that they want, and that would be.
And who was they finally?
Right. So I think that the Orion group, which there's a planet called Betelgeuse, and there's a planet called Alpha Draconis, and the Aldebaran group as well are having a big hand in what's going on now, and kind of like the final showdown of what happens here. There's two or three factions that are kind of wrestling to have final control and can say, like, we got it, we take over from now. And there is a transition. There is the end of this. We're going into a new eon. It is the eon of Horus. This is like there is a new world, there is a new age, but there's just like a final battle to see who can take control and take hold of it.
How does this battle work? How does it?
Well, it's the unseen war, it's the silent weapons for a quiet war, because an overt war, a war where you can see whether you're using guns or using bombs, is crude and can always be shut down. If you attack somebody while you smile at them or buy them dinner, and then take them over, you will always do that.
Beautiful. Huh. Wow. Nicholson, 1968, yeah, I thought. Oh, right, against the grain. Got 11 o'clock, is it? It's interesting how they... No, happy me. Oh, God. Hello, Tanya. Hello. Hello, Tanya. Hello. Snakes, demons. How are you? I looked for something to do with my neck. Oh, having to go shortly back out. How are you? I looked for something to do with my neck. Oh no. Oh, I'm getting big back. Shortly back out. Hold on. I looked for something to do. Right. So basically, it's going to the main chat. You're very tired. Yeah, I think a lot of us are. I think they're ramping it all up. They like to do rituals and abuses, especially on full moon. You know what was doing a stream yesterday? Well, don't know what time you call it now. What time is it for you in Australia? It's late, 11 p.m. It was a struggle to get out. I really couldn't go and get my electric and stuff. I was delayed. I got this. Everything seems to be struggling to get anything. So specifically went to the health food shop to get this bottle of golden seal. And she ain't got none. So the only thing I could find, oh, it tastes horrible. A bigger bottle to help with dental infection, which is coming up. You know, when they radiate you and the ears and stuff. Really bad. So the only thing I could get was that. Then I had to mix it with echinacea drops, and I have to be careful and dilute it more with water. It's not great. So yeah, I'm seeing. Where else could I get it from? I've ordered Be a miracle if it turns up without it being damaged. A mini camping fire, door locks, specialist ones you can do. Gotta see how to do it. So yeah, I went out to put some cash in the bank, and then of course I forgot to budget properly. Oh, because I was so exhausting. Then I had the gang stalking perps on the street. But I got a video of that, but I couldn't be bothered because it doesn't matter if it's inside. There's a lot of radiation, and I can feel it. The 5G affects the frequencies outside too. I literally was drained, completely drained. This is like not the first time. Monday drained, yesterday drained, or today drained. All day yesterday in bed. And it'd be the same tomorrow. So, going out, another rubbish bag out. Posted the letter. Got that out the way. Didn't get much sleep. 4 hours. Recorded my sleep. Frequency is extremely high. There is a perpetrator moved in above me. the male with the original female posed as a normal Polish, Lithuanian, whatever language tenant, with her implied to be a son. But then out the blue, now months later, she seems to be subletting the flat. So when she's at work at nights or whatever, they seem to change the shift about. And I hear him come in because it's above me. So I do reckon they got some, I don't know what else extra equipment are, but it's coming from them on top. Yeah, and then in the street I get the perp neighbour for number 9. Oh, there's nothing wrong with her eyesight, by the way. They've all staged that a while ago, public servants in my area, with a white stick. Nothing wrong with her eyesight. The perps, she definitely is involved with, you know, certain stuff I can't mention here. Yeah, so of course, I'm just minding my own business, trying to have a drink, snack, before I find the energy to get home. And she comes up and says hello to me. Well, I don't recognise her. There's nothing wrong with her eyesight. She's wearing dark sunglasses like the other former kind neighbour turned perp does. They all do sunglasses. But I've got a video of the police perp, she, the blonde one, on her own, literally clocking me. Clocking me like a hawk. I haven't uploaded it yet because I've just too shuttered. So I've got to have another drink and get out before it gets too late and get back, because I'm going to be shattered. I have to do it at some point very soon. So because being a full moon, you know what the full moon does. Let me take this energy drink I've made. Bit of energy. Bit of Lucasade, whatever you call it. Oh my gosh. Did you get any sleep? Yeah. Sepsis. I've got to be careful, definitely, because they're radiating on the right side and now, and my muscles on my right side and my nerves. Well, I looked it up, posted it into Telegram. They're targeting my spine, my nerves, right up my spine to the top of my neck, and then into the ears, of course, with the ears. But it's more damaging for me because I've got spine injuries already, and I've got one over. So when they target me on the ears and the head, what they do with the frequencies, now they're getting really hammering into my muscles and nerves. So it sets off, if it's on the right side, it sets off infection into my tooth, which are all damaged anyway. And that's why I had to get out today to try and get that golden seal. I've got some more turmeric, but I've got it in I've got it in a deal, so I had to stock up on the turmeric. So the turmeric helps with the muscles and nerves, but again, you know, I literally, like you say, the other time I have to force myself trying to get out. It's literally it's like above me, that it's like the heat vibrations, and let alone with the wall, party wall here, smart me to imagine. It's just whew. Oh, I did look into I couldn't quite afford it today, the ice pack thing, and I wonder if you could send me another email, because I can't find that one you sent. Roughly a picture of yours, because I'm going to order next week if they've got it in stock. I need one that's got the straps, you know, the ice pack. You need the hot or cold. And I need 2 of them around my lower part of my lumbar region and the top of my neck. So the version I want to get, I've seen, I can have it over my shoulder or my neck, but it's got Vaco straps, which will really help round the neck at night. And then because of my mobility issues in the day, I can have it around my shoulder, you know, supporting my I've already got a damaged left shoulder, rotor cuff injuries from the accident I had on top. So when they radiate me more with the nerves, it really flares up. So I can't move my neck. I have to lay, and if I lay in my bed, they radiate me more. So I'm just drinking this toxic, well, tonic, I should say. I was just playing Max Spires. Oh, I can't see comments right now. What? Again? Yeah, I know. Oh. Not much rest. No, no me. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, they are good to have for working. Yeah, I need to. I've got some ice packs already, but there's not mobility in my viewpoint. The versions I've got, you have to wrap around a towel and stuff. But I've heard also, I was rewatching something, can't remember now, and it was about for the scalar waves. The only thing that works is like water pillows. Well, I've got electrical equipment under this mattress elevator. I can't quite have that in case it bursts or something. So I thought this is the next best thing because it's more flexible. But there's no, you know, they always tamper with your goods anyway. I won't be able to pick up the goods down the road. Well, I haven't ordered anything for a long time. So I chose 2 items, and if that can, you know, if they bend the metal and damage it again, they're small. So I just need to go through my backpack, my bug out bag. I haven't done that in a long time. So it's just basic stuff like things when they're on the home page, and what they done before is damage the one I paid for, 30 odd quid. Might be in a bit more at the time, was like a rope, hemp rope. But it's designed like a watch strap. Gotta watch the time. It's designed like a watch strap with a watch, a fire starter, flint, a compass, so it's all like together, and it's like a military style. But yeah, the perps have smashed the glass on it, so I've got to find another pound shop type how you can replace the glass, the plastic glass, because that's all it is. The rest of it seems to be okay. And oh, I've got a whistle, all these little things I've got. But yeah, putting perps in my way today don't help. I just hope the Kia the bank thing, you know, the cash point thing's open, I can just put some cash just to cover my debts on Monday, because anything between now and then can happen. So, you know, I just have this gut feeling. So I said to my helpers, I said, you know, you got the extra time to hop around here. One's going to meet me up the road, and one's going to wait round here. So I'm just trying to drink this concoction, have a fresh shot, and this time, this is how the weather's changing again. It's gone colder, it's raining, well it was, and putting heating on first time in weeks, you know, just a little heater. So I have to take some more energy tablets, you know, just I have to just watch myself on the wet. But hopefully the frequencies will die down outside a bit of air. But I have to just also be careful. Oh, because they like to make you sleep, don't they? I mean, I don't know about you, but you try to keep going. It's like, there's no way I can do much, because if I can't collect the goods tomorrow, because normally you get a text or something or an email to, you know, the goods have arrived or whatever. But I know they hack everything, so. South UK, this girl down in South England, right? She was getting. She doesn't know that she's a TI. I do. I can see right through it all. And anyway, she was getting the threats. She had anonymous phone calls, live streaming she was when it happened. So I popped in there because I know of her for 2 years. Well, previous years anyway. Not much recently. And I know she's been taken advantage of by a partner. He's a handler. And she's out the hotel where she wasn't. And she won't go back to that temporary housing that they offered her ages ago. Because she was getting all the BS there too, like I get. So when I used to help her on different platforms, social media, well, it turns out everyone that tried to help her, I could see right through the trauma-based mind control, the triggers they were doing in her own mind. She has no clue about the technology. I could see right through it affecting her, because she's been repetitive. Every stream dragging up things, putting yourself on camera, and I thought, oh my goodness me. She stumbled across somebody by researching online. Oh dear me. And she mentions that in a couple of streams recently. And the last one, she re-mentions the name. And it's only connected in England to ritual abuse, child abuse. And satanic ritual abuse. She stepped on some hot water, and tonight's stream, she was being bombarded with hate. That even though I don't particularly like her, I would never tolerate that. And I went in, I wasn't saying anything untoward. I just went in, I said, there's no way. No matter what people do, there's no way you need to go on the attack like that. But I'm also aware that AI technology can pose to somebody to create that response, to create that negativity response back, like they do hacking in my streams all the time. Anyway, I'll just check my stream. Finish up what I'm doing. 7:30 now. Yeah. So home evasion. Demonic. Oh, I just missed about the title. Demonic. They are saying, I had a gut feeling of that, Tanya. I was doing my diary. I was just catching up and writing in my diary. I had a gut feeling about another lockdown. You know. What the hell was it? Oh, don't let me just rest for a moment. Just position myself. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Let's read your comment. Let's catch up. Don't have water around Powell. Yeah, exactly, Tanya. I took my money out of the bank awaken. Yes, exactly. Anything. This is where the gut feeling comes in. If it's the cash what's not over the deposit, we'll stuff it. Do you know what I mean? Just gotta be careful. And if the direct debit's bounce, it bounce. I've got no energy. Oh. Do you know what? It's trying to find that extra energy. So, okay, take the rubbish bag out and get up the road for 10 minutes. And then going. Yes. I know that feeling, Tanya. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I went out and put that cash in to order those 2 items. Because they haven't mended the communal back door. Now, one of the locks for my bedroom door, I wonder for the main flat door. Now, I know they use mind control and God knows what advanced technology they've got and if they can still get through, but I need to look at safety issues. And then the other one was where you can't use a particular camping version that I've ordered inside because of the fumes and health and safety. But it's foldable and I just gotta think without putting it online. You know, it's like a military operation. and then I don't know why that feed come up. It was UK mainstream media, right? Climate change. Why is there a drought? Look, come on. In the late 70s, we had heat, we had droughts, we got by. You know, the scaremongering. It's all about control, isn't it? So, I can't say what I want to say. And I've got to get herbal tea. I've got to get something warmish. Right, keep drinking and not get sidetracked. Which is easy to do, isn't it? Good point. Okay.
Oh, I just missed about the job.
So they're targeting security prep happen. Oh right, hold on. JMTV. Let's get some update. It's a full moon coming up.
And a guided missile cruiser set out from Singapore on Monday, heading toward northeast towards the South China Sea, according to ship tracking information provided by Beijing-based think tank South China Sea Strategic Probing Initiative.
Right. Tanya, I heard this on a different platform. I don't know who it is, the agent, public servant in America, is meant to be flying over towards Taiwan. Taiwan, is it? Is that Singapore? And then, I don't know who said what country it was now, but said that that female flew over there. They're going to blow a plane out the air and blame it. I heard that the CIA are going to stage something, allegedly. I'm going to put alleged. Are going to stage something like that, blow the plane up and blame it on Russia to bring in the Third World War, properly. What? And I thought, you what? No, can't be true. Anything's possible. So I'm listening in to this shift. You're missing the points. Scaremongering, Tanya. US military aircraft carrier on the way to Taiwan with missiles, and lawmakers prep major security for homes for World War III. Come on, it's bankers' wars. They're all friends, really, these corporations around the world and banking industry, but they've got to do the reset, haven't they, Tanya?
So they told her not to go, but she's going to continue to go with this thing, setting them up in a position that doesn't look too good. So moving on from there, I want to get into the media blackout. This I think could be a major point that we're missing. Now, they were given this authorization in Nicaragua to move forward. Before we get to that, let me finish off the last piece of information on this. The U.S. military has not disclosed its final destination, but the route would bring the carrier group to the Taiwan Strait if it continues in the same direction. Meanwhile, China is also building up its aerial strength in the region. Pelosi has yet to confirm her travel plans, but if she does visit, she will be the highest-ranking U.S. politician to visit the island since 1997. Beijing has warned it would see the visit as a dangerous provocation, obviously taking it to military moves. This could be a pre-positioning setup, though. People in the pockets of China all around the world. So let's go into this report. I want to remind you of something that a lot of people let slip from their eye. What is that? It was a buildup that was going to happen, and it's already happening. And the fact that we're missing this point in the media is not even, it's total blackout on it. And total blackout, meaning something larger is being said there. And so, what am I talking about? The decree allows 230 Russian soldiers to enter Nicaragua between July 1st and December 31st to patrol the Pacific waters with the Nicaraguan army.
That's about the timing.
So, obviously, actively right now, that's happening. But yet, we don't hear anything about it happening. So, this is a silent move here that's being set up.
Wow.
It's something that obviously is happening.
I'll keep this going on a drink.
But on the inside, is there operations being set up to try to distract us from the process of what's happening on that end? That's the hardest question. And the even bigger question from there is, how do we interact in society now that the inflation and everything is getting even larger? I would say, if you know how to actually get meat and then smoke it and then store it for long-term storage, that's important. Learning how to basically get lots of meal preps going and stuff like that, and just setting yourself up to where you can dehydrate your own food or do anything like that, because the period and phase that we're going into is going to revolve around these events that we're seeing right now currently actively in the region. So what could be the possible scenario of the silent darkness of the Russian troops over in Nicaragua and the buildup of all the troops in August is to say that the inflation probably is being spiraled because of those reasons as well. And what happens when we actually go deeper into this inflationary period? What happens is we're getting force fed by the big global corporations who has a plan to control the minds of humans. And we actively continue to support them and to continue to eat the food that they have. We are basically going directly into the trap. And so also you're seeing a lot of people are starting to exodus to certain areas. And that means they're leaving rural and then they're coming to the cities. So why are they doing that? Because obviously prices, you get price differentiation when you go to different stores. I've noticed that some areas, some stores has higher prices than another one, even though it's the same chain. This is very strange that things like this is happening. But the fact that it is happening shows you how people leaving rural areas are probably faced with way more consequence, because if you have to drive for 30 minutes to get to only one store, I can see why you're pre-positioning yourself close to the city. But that's also a setup as well that they're engineering so that we can be in cities more and then hive together for a specific strategic takeover of those regions and make it easier for you, because rural people are actually the most independent people here. And they can dictate a lot about their own futures. But if they get hived into the cities, then they're no better than everybody else who are stuck in the cities. I'm not saying you're bad because you're in the cities. I'm saying basically was in the cities anyway. I'm just saying it's a lot of pros and cons to the cities. You're seeing all that happening now. Pros is you can get a lot of different price differentiation. Rural, you can't get as much, but also you can get away from all the crazy tyranny. You can get away from all the crazy, riots or whatever that's pretty much on the way. And we'll have more information coming. Thanks for tuning in. We did other videos about the Project Bluebeam operation. It's just recently happened, and CIA putting thousands of millions of dollars into this operation. On the left hand side, you'll see that at the end of this video. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, warte, ich will es aufnehmen. Okay, ich zeig's dir nochmal. Wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir? Ja, mir geht's gut. Und dir? Mir geht's auch gut.
SHTO, you're missing the point. The beefing up from lawmakers, the media blackouts. We're about to get into what those media blackouts are. The Fed raising prices, and now we're supposed to depend on companies that force feed us stuff that probably ain't potentially the greatest for you. Forced into a situation where we have to make decisions based on what they need us to be modified. But also, lawmakers just recently got 10K to bulk up home security.
Wow.
As you can read above, whatever they spend isn't enough from the riot start. We'll get to it, just like in Sri Lanka, where basically they banned the sale of fuel to private cars, and then people stormed the presidential palace. Are they preparing for some event like that, or are they just positioning themselves because even larger situations are happening? So thanks for tuning in. We're going to read you deeper into what's going on with
It's all uncertain.
House lawmakers receiving up to 10K to bulk up their home security. Well, I guess today's are just a source of scams, you know? And so we're going to get into it here. House Sergeant Arms William Walker plans to offer lawmakers thousands of dollars to safeguard their homes at the time when a growing number of members have received threats. It says, going into the report, it talks about how they're going to update their door locks, and it's going to give them security cameras, and it's going to put more motion sensors and everything else on there. But sure, they're not telling you they're going to give them private security or nothing like that. I guess they don't want you to know anything about that. It says this program is set to begin August 15th. What an interesting date. Dates when, Pelosi goes to over, I don't know if it's 100% August 15th, but it's in August when all the drills and everything else are happening. When Pelosi goes to visit Taiwan and all these other things. Let's go into it further. Sergeant Arms will assume the cost and oversee certain future residential security upgrades, maintenance, and the monthly monitoring fees. This program will strengthen security members of the House of Representatives and their families. It says, will it? Will it? Because I mean, from what is coming could be a lot bigger than just that little service you're giving them. It says $150 a month for those members. Now, are they just beefing up because of the ongoing inflation situation? They know what's coming. They know the streets will be different. They know society will be different. Or are they beefing up because U.S. aircraft carrier group heads towards Taiwan as tensions over Pelosi's possible visit continues to grow? They already set sail based on tracking information that basically tells you where the ships are going ahead and all that. So they've set sail because already this event repositions us for a moment where they could take advantage of a lot of different things. So this is probably one of the moments that's going to set the stage for a lot of American aircraft carrier. And I'm going to tell you where the media blackouts.
Could it be another false flag?
The American aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and his strike group, including a guided missile destroyer and a guided missile cruiser, set out from Singapore on Monday, heading toward northeast towards the South China Sea, according to ship tracking information provided by Beijing-based think tank and South China Sea Strategic Program Initiative. So they told her not to go, but she's going to continue to go ahead with this thing, setting them up in a position that doesn't look too good. So moving on from there, I want to get into the media blackout that's a major point that we're missing. They were giving this authorization with guardrail to move forward. Before we get to that, let me finish
When
off
Mo
the
sent
last
me
piece
that
of information.
email,
As the military has not disclosed its
Hold on.
final destination, but the route would bring the carrier group to the Taiwan Strait if it continues in the same direction. Meanwhile, China is also
when Mo sent me that email about, let me get into the email. Shite, dropping things. Oh, bloody heck. Yeah. Right. Now, what is this on? Rumble, right, if you go on Rumble, if you can, Tanya, if you're still in the chat, Scott Adams, and listen to that, you might get a bit of more, some information, but you never know. Stop hacking me. Ugh, right. Because of the gas pipelines. Right. 25th July. Putin in Russia has cut off the natural gas to Europe. Look into pellets of wood or coconuts for eating it as things, right? A little stove. But my email's been messed about with. So, when's the last one? Also, reference to China's, I can't mention certain words, program religious believers used as something on the live stream. I think it's not quite wrong.
Let's bring on our guest. This is Dr. G. Weldon Gilcrease. He's the Deputy Director of Doctors Against Forced.
It was referenced in China, allegedly, I'm going to put it again, religious believers probably, quote, really are, Christians are being used as living sources, wow, Tanya, for organ transplants in a murder for profit program. How do they get that away with on YouTube? Run by the Chinese regime. Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting, and I think that's in the United States. And it discusses about that. He sent me a link to. And then again in UK, more train strikes announced. Listen to this, mainstream UK media. It's all happening. It's no coincidence these events are happening in the world. It's biblical. Okay. Walker overpay dispute. Train strikers new strike. Okay, so hold on, let me just get rid of this. So it quotes reference to another strike. At this time, all 9 companies in England, a one-day strike on 13th of August. Passengers advised not to travel because only around 1 in 5 trains are running, and in some areas no trains at all. See, you're right about what you said about lockdowns and stuff like that, you know, in your area too, in Australia. We're definitely in the book of Revelations. We're definitely in the book of Revelations. Not much I have, much I don't. Yeah, we are. Okay. So I'm just going to try and put on some scripture music in the background, some affirmations, positive affirmations, okay? And then I'll end the stream. I'm streaming while I'm out to see if any gas enters my own.
You are not. You are great, so don't think yourself small. You are blessed,
Blessings
so don't think
to
yourself
those
poor.
are
You are
going through a
healthy,
lot.
so don't think yourself sick.
Don't you?
Even if the situation you're in says something otherwise, let your mind see better, and you will have better. We see from
It's my
Scripture that
birthday,
Jesus Christ always gave thanks before
28th
the miracle because he
July
knew God would do
2022.
what he asked.
Happy full
Even
moon!
when Jesus was
Positive
faced with impossible
attitude
situations,
in this demonic
his
world.
mind saw further than the present, and so his actions were in line with God's will, and his mouth gave thanks. The devil wants to get a hold of your mind because he knows it is a crucial part of you. That is why he comes to whisper lies and to fill our heads with confusion. He knows if he can make you not believe, then God's word will not be fulfilled in your life. The devil is not after your money, or your job, or your house. He is after your mind, and you cannot let him win. 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5 says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. We are destroying speculations and every lofty thing raised against the knowledge of God. We are taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ." Dear believer, I want you to see that your mind is precious. I want you to decide to take every thought captive, as the Apostle Paul says, to the obedience of Christ. Having control of your mind is vital, for we are at war against things that are not of the flesh. So the battle may be in the form of a rejected proposal, or a bad doctor's report, or a bad marriage. But listen to me. In the battlefield of your mind, you must fight and win. Only then will it be revealed in the realm of the physical. Remember, our weapons are not of the flesh, and the battlefield of life is in the mind. If you lose in your mind, you will lose in the physical. If your mind only sees an obstacle and never a way out, then a way out won't come. Listen, the answer you have been waiting for has come already, but it is in your spirit. It takes your mind to bring it to the realm of the physical. Control your mind. Control your mind. Child of God, you cannot afford to not have control over your mind. Without control over your mind, you are at risk, and you are open to the attacks of the enemy. Remember, John 10:10a says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy." His primary target is your mind. Your mind is where the arrows are being shot at. This is why we have to consistently feed it with the Word of God. The Word of God is an armor our minds can wear to fight. The Word of God enables us and strengthens us in battle. It is our weapon in pulling down strongholds. Our minds are where we win before we even go out into the world. So Proverbs 4:23 tells us to watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the springs of life. Keep watch over your mind, child of God. Watch over your mind and guard it, for every battle in life will begin and end in your mind. Colossians 3:2 says, "Set your mind on the things above, not on the things that are on the earth." Fix your eyes on Jesus, and let your mind be saturated with the things that God says alone. That battle you are currently fighting, that mess you are in, can be won and be put to an end if you take control over your mind. Glory to Jesus, for we do not have to go on this journey alone. The Lord is not just with us, but He is also with us to help us. But we have to ask Him to, and we will have to be open to receiving His help. Then we must meditate on the Word of God, for it is the manual we have been given to tackle life's worst. So for that person who is struggling with negative thoughts, I want to assure you, God is with you to help you. And for that person who has accepted defeat and smallness, I want you to know that God did not create you to be small. So stop believing the devil's lies. And for that person in a pit right now, hear me well. The tables can turn if you take control over your mind.
Scriptures are filled with God's promises, and He has promised us that if we will seek Him first, everything else we need will be provided for us. It says in Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 through 27, "Therefore I tell you, Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?
Nope.
What does this look like in real life, though? Do we quit our jobs and spend the whole day praying and reading scriptures and just trust that somehow there will be food on the table? I don't think that's what his promise means. Rather, it's referring to giving up the things in our lives which are idols. If you love something more than you love God, it's an idol.
That's it.
Seeking God first means that we place him in his rightful place on the throne of our heart. We work diligently at our jobs, but our jobs should not become an idol, taking precedence over God in our lives. We love our spouses, but our spouses do not take first place in our lives over God. We enjoy our hobbies, but they should not come before God. So don't look at this passage and think that you cannot do anything besides reading and praying. Rather, understand that God is in all of the things that we do each day if he is first in our hearts and minds. When we put God first, everything else falls into place. But when something or someone becomes an idol, it can wreak havoc in our lives and the lives of others. What things are idols in your heart? Idols may not look like they did in ancient times, but they still have a grasp on our hearts, and they compete with God for first place in our lives. Not many people today are making sacrifices to golden calves or worshiping statues made by humans.
Yeah. Perpetrator. Police informer. Individual. So try and leave this streaming and see what happens to it. Well, I'm out for a short while. Yeah, back safely, fingers crossed. I should be okay. I shall close it down. What do you reckon, Vivian? Tanya? For safety, no. Why we keep the electrics off? Because you never know. Tanya, be safe, yeah? Anything's happening, you know what it's like. Common sense approach was it, yes. There's no guarantee this place, kiosk, will be open. But a rubbish bag to get help. I've got my torchlight in my bag. just being precautious and safety is apparent. So I'll get back to bed. That's the key. How's your dog Tango? Hope he's alright. And your mum and sisters and that. Okay. Might keep my music on, shall I? Okay. Winter coat this time of night. I should listen into other people's streams. Lots of popping by and saying hello. Take care. Signing out.